The first crack in the sky was silent. No thunder, no fire, just a split, like glass breaking without sound. Villagers in the valley looked up, confused. Children pointed. Farmers dropped their tools. Then came the roar. It wasn't natural. It was deep, ancient, and angry. Kale, a former warrior turned blacksmith, stood in front of his forge with soot on his arms and a hammer in hand. His instincts flared. Something was coming, something powerful. From the sky, the clouds twisted. A massive creature shaped like a beast from nightmares dropped into the fields. It stood taller than the trees, with horns like twisted metal and eyes that burned red. The earth shook as it landed. Animals fled. People screamed. Kyle didn't move. His eyes locked onto the beast. He recognized the shape from old war scrolls, scrolls no one read anymore. A war beast, he muttered. But they were myths. The alien girl arrived just moments later. Her ship glided down beside the chaos. She stepped out calm and glowing with otherworldly light. Her red hair flowed like fire, and her silver armor shimmered against the smoke. She wasn't here to attack. She looked at the beast, then at Kale. "You're the one?" she asked, voice soft but firm. Kale frowned. "The one what?" "The one who can stop it." The beast charged. It didn't wait for orders. It didn't care for politics or alliances. It came with rage, with hunger. Its hooves crushed the earth. Its breath steamed with fury. The village had no defense, no soldiers, no weapons that could even scratch such a monster. Kale didn't think. He ran, not away, but toward the beast. The alien girl watched in silence, not moving, not blinking. This was the moment the ancient data had spoken of. A human, not trained, not chosen, was meant to stop a war with bare hands. Kale met the beast in open ground. Its roar shook his chest. Its horns came like twin blades. But Kale wasn't afraid. As the horns neared, he dropped his hammer and raised his arms. With both hands, he grabbed the monster's horns. And the world froze. The impact didn't send him flying. Instead, his boots dug into the ground. Dust exploded around him. Villagers stared from behind trees, mouths open, eyes wide. The beast stopped. Kyle held firm. Muscles burned. Blood trickled from his arms, but he didn't let go. The alien girl stepped forward now. She scanned Kale's body with a flick of her eyes, noting something strange. His energy matched the frequency of the beast's control core. It wasn't science, it wasn't magic, it was something deeper, an echo from the past. The beast growled, tried to pull away, but Kale twisted its horns with a roar of his own. The villagers watched as the war beast was forced to its knees. Kale released it. The beast backed away slowly, its rage broken, its will confused. The alien girl smiled for the first time. "You stopped it." Kale fell to one knee, panting. "What was that?" "A test," she said. "And now you've passed." But deep in the hills, more cracks appeared in the sky, and more roars began to echo. Kyle sat on the grass, chest rising and falling like a war drum. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of what had just happened. He had stopped a creature that could flatten stone with a single step. Around him, silence grew heavy, broken only by the slow retreat of the war beast into the shadows of the woods. The alien girl approached. Her steps were light, almost like floating, and her glowing armor pulsed softly with light. She knelt beside him and opened a small vial, offering it to him without a word. Kyle drank it. The liquid was bitter and cold, but almost instantly, his muscles stopped burning and his mind grew clear. "What's your name?" he asked, wiping his mouth. "I am Leora," she said, "scout of the Vailari Alliance." Kale gave a dry chuckle. "Fancy name. Why are you here?" "To find the one the ancient prophecy spoke of," she said. "A human who would stand against the great beasts when they rise again." Kyle scoffed. "Prophecies are for priests and madmen." Leora didn't argue. She turned her gaze to the hills where more cracks shimmered in the sky. You touched its mind, Kyle. The war beast. That means you're connected. That means the others will come. A cry rang from the village behind them. Kyle turned to see smoke rising. Fires had started in the barns. Villagers rushed with buckets. Screaming children were pulled to safety. The war beast may have stopped its charge, but the shock had already done its damage. Kale stood, bones aching. We need to help them. Leora didn't follow right away. She watched him go, watched how the villagers looked at him differently. Now, not just as a blacksmith, but something else. Something larger. He joined the villagers, lifting debris off a trapped man, then helping an elder walk. The people began to whisper. Did you see it? He stopped it. With his hands. That thing kneeled. When the fires were put out and no more screams echoed, Leora finally stepped into the village center. All eyes turned to her. She was taller than any human woman there, her armor shining like starlight. Some backed away. Others stared in awe. Kale raised a hand. She's not our enemy. Leora spoke clearly, her voice cutting through the evening air. More war beasts are coming. This was only the first. If we do not prepare, your world will fall. A merchant shouted. Why should we believe you? Kale stepped forward. Because I felt it. When I touched its horns, I saw flashes. Images, more beasts, more sky rips. They're not just monsters, they're part of something bigger. A hush fell over the crowd. Leora nodded. There is a machine buried beneath this land, an ancient one. It controls them. And you, Kyle, are its key. Kyle's head spun. Me? I'm a blacksmith. No longer, she said, before anyone could speak. A deep vibration pulsed through the earth. The ground cracked slightly beneath their feet. Everyone froze. From beyond the hill, the second war beast emerged. This one was even larger, its hide covered in glowing blue plates and its roar louder than the first. Kyle turned slowly. I hope that prophecy of yours says I get stronger, he muttered. Leora smiled faintly. Only if you survive the next 10 minutes. The beast began its charge, and this time Kale didn't have the element of surprise. Kale didn't wait for the beast to close the gap. His legs moved on instinct, sprinting toward it while villagers screamed behind him. The second war beast was not just larger, it was smarter. Its movements were measured, each step shaking the ground with purpose. Its glowing blue plates hummed, like a living engine. Leora moved to intercept but paused. Her sensors blinked red. Don't get too close, she shouted. This one is reinforced. It adapts. Kale heard her, but didn't slow down. His feet pounded the cracked earth. As the beast neared, it lowered its head, aiming both horns like giant spears. Kale jumped. Mid-air, he twisted and slammed his fist down on the beast's head, just between the glowing plates. The impact made a dull boom, and Kale was thrown to the side. He rolled, mud and dust coating his arms. He coughed and stood up again, slower this time. The beast turned, unharmed, but now watching him carefully. Leora activated her arm panel. Kyle, step back. I can disable its charge pattern for 10 seconds. Kyle didn't reply. He was already moving again, weaving around the beast's side, looking for a weak spot between the blue plates. He spotted an opening near the rear joint. As the beast swung its tail, he ducked, slid under, and slammed his palm into the exposed flesh. Nothing happened, until a sudden pulse of energy traveled from Kale's body into the creature. The beast screamed. It wasn't pain, it was confusion. Kale backed off, breathing hard. What was that? Leora's eyes widened. You accessed its neural core. Without tech, that's not possible for a normal human. Kale shrugged, panting. Guess I'm not normal. The beast staggered, shaking its head, and then it paused. The same way the first beast had. Kale stepped forward slowly, holding out both hands. Easy, but the beast didn't kneel this time. It roared and launched forward again faster than before. Leora cursed and raised her arm. A burst of light shot from her gauntlet, hitting the beast in the face. It shrieked and turned, giving Kale the opening to dive behind it and climb. The villagers gasped as they watched Kale mount the creature's back like it was a wild animal. He dug his fingers into the glowing plates. The hum beneath them responded. He wasn't trying to control it. He was connecting to it. Images flashed through his mind again. A battlefield in the stars. A tower of light rising from a dead world. A human-like figure with burning eyes reaching toward a sleeping machine. Then his own face. He screamed. Not from fear, but from too much knowledge at once. The beast fell. To its knees, the connection overloading it. Kale dropped to the ground, his body smoking with heat, skin red from the energy. Leora ran to him and caught him before he hit the ground. "You just shut it down," she said, breathless. Kale looked up at her, barely conscious. "That thing showed me something. There's a core, deep underground." Leora nodded grimly. "That's what I feared. You're drawing power from it. That's why the beasts are coming. Not to destroy you, but to reach you." Behind them, the second beast slumped into stillness, but above them the sky cracked again. 3 more war beasts emerged from the clouds, and they were headed straight for the village. The sky above the village twisted into colors that didn't belong in nature. Red streaks, pulsing black lines, cracks in the atmosphere that shimmered like water. Through them, 3 new war beasts descended, each larger than the last. One was covered in jagged obsidian armor. The second slithered with segmented limbs and glowing wings. The third hovered, floating above the earth with tendrils of golden light swirling around it. The villagers fell to their knees. Some prayed, others ran to hide. No one screamed anymore. They had gone beyond fear and entered despair. Kale stood, on shaking legs. His body still ached from the last encounter, his vision blurred, but something inside him, something old and deep, refused to let him fall. He looked at the sky, then at Leora. "Tell me there's a plan," he said. Leora's face was pale, her eyes scanning readings in her gauntlet. "They're not just beasts anymore, they're sentient, aware, they're coordinating." "Then we need to split them up," Kale said. "Draw one away at a time." "You won't survive 3 battles like that," she replied. "Then we don't make it 3 battles," he answered. "We make it 1 move." Leora stared at him for a long moment. "There's a canyon 10 kilometers north, a deep one. If we can lead at least one of them there, I can trigger a collapse." Kyle didn't hesitate. "Then we run." He turned to the villagers. "You want to live? Head for the caves in the east. Don't stop, don't wait." No one questioned him. Not now. The villagers began to move, grabbing their children, their elders, anything they could carry. Some paused only to nod in his direction, an unspoken thank you. Kale and Leora ran toward the canyon, the 3 war beasts roaring as they spotted movement. The winged one took flight first, fast as lightning. The floating one followed behind, slower but glowing with strange energy. The third, the hulking one with obsidian skin, charged on all 4s, tearing up trees in its path. The ground trembled. The sky howled. Kale could barely breathe as he ran. "Any chance we make it before they do?" "Only if they choose to follow us," Leora said, "and only if they don't split up." Behind them, the winged beast screamed, a sound like metal grinding against glass. Leora activated a beacon on her belt. The signal burst into the air, flashing like a false heartbeat. The creatures turned toward it immediately. "They're tracking your energy now," she said. "You're the magnet." "Great," Kale muttered. "I've always wanted to be bait." They reached the canyon edge just as the first beast closed in. Its wings sliced the air. It dived, fast and direct. Kale stopped running. He turned, faced it, and shouted. The beast pulled up mid-charge, hovering just above him, confused. His energy didn't match what it remembered. Kale stepped backward, inch by inch, leading it closer to the canyon's mouth. Leora waited near the rocks, hand on a trigger built into her armor. A little more. The second beast appeared over the ridge. The ground shook again. Kale narrowed his eyes. "Do it." Leora slammed her hand down. The canyon wall exploded in a chain of charges. The edge beneath the beasts gave way. The flying one screamed as rock swallowed its wings. The second one stumbled, lost footing, and tumbled in too. The last one, slower, halted just in time, but roared in frustration. 2 beasts gone, but the third still stood. Kale dropped to one knee, drained. The last war beast stepped forward, eyes locked onto him. This one wasn't just angry. It was personal now. The third war beast stood on the canyon's edge, unmoved by the collapse. Its obsidian, plates shimmered in the dying light. Steam hissed from cracks in its armor. Glowing red lines pulsed under its skin like veins full of fire. Kale could feel its gaze, heavy like a mountain pressing on his chest. Leora helped him up, one arm around his waist. "That one is different," she whispered. "It's not charging. It's thinking." Kale wiped blood from his chin. "Then maybe we talk. You think it understands?" "It doesn't have to. It just needs to hesitate." Kale limped forward every step a fight. He stopped at the cliff's edge, his hands open. "You want me?" he called out. "Here I am." The beast didn't move. Instead, it let out a deep growl. Not loud like before, low and deliberate, like a warning. Kale narrowed his eyes. "That's new." Leora's scanner lit up. "It's not a beast anymore," she said. "There's a presence inside, a pilot, or worse, a mind." Kale stared at the glowing core in the beast's chest. It pulsed like a heartbeat. A memory came rushing back, one of the visions he had seen when he touched the first war beast. A dark chamber, a throne of bone, a humanoid figure with black eyes placing a hand on a sleeping creature's head. "They're not just machines," he said. "They're made from something else, something alive." Leora looked at him with concern. "If that's true, we're dealing with a hive mind." The beast began to move again, but not to charge. It stepped down from the ridge slowly, its body adjusting. It wasn't rushing, it was studying. Kyle tensed. "It's learning from the others' mistakes." Suddenly the beast leaped. It didn't aim to crush this time. It slammed its fists into the earth, sending a shockwave that threw both Kyle and Leora into the air. Kyle landed hard, skidding through dirt. His ears rang. Blood dripped from his temple. Leora rolled and fired a blast from her gauntlet. The energy hit the beast's flank and bounced off harmlessly. "Energy resistance has increased," she said. "It's adapting too fast." Kyle groaned as he stood up. "Then we stop hitting it like machines." He ran toward the nearest ridge and grabbed a jagged metal spear left behind by an old battle wreck. The beast saw him and turned, roaring, its red eyes glowing brighter. Kyle didn't slow. Instead, he jumped straight at the beast's chest. The creature swatted him midair, slamming him into a boulder. The stone cracked and Kale fell limp for a moment. "Kale!" Leora shouted, firing again, trying to distract it. The beast stomped toward him, raising one heavy foot. But Kale moved. His hand shot out and gripped a glowing root that was pulsing in the soil near the base of the cliff. It wasn't just a root. It was part of the ancient power core. Energy surged through his arm. His body lit up. Leora's scanner overloaded. "His vitals are—" "Kale, stop." But Kale didn't. He rose, eyes glowing faintly now. The spear in his hand melted into molten metal and reformed into something smoother, stronger, a blade. The war beast hesitated. For the first time, it took a step back. Kale lifted the weapon, breathing heavily. "I don't know what I am," he said. "But I know what I'm not." The beast roared in rage and charged again. Kale didn't move. He waited. Then, in one swing, he struck. The blade hit the beast's chest and exploded in light. The light from Kale's strike lit up the entire canyon, flooding the skies with a blinding white burst that made even the clouds above pause. The explosion didn't sound like thunder. It was sharper, like steel being torn apart from the inside. The war beast staggered back, its obsidian plates cracking down the center. Smoke poured from the wound on its chest where Kyle's blade had landed. A long, glowing fissure now ran from its collarbone down to its torso, pulsing like an exposed artery. But it didn't fall. It growled, a deep, rumbling sound that vibrated through the ground and into Kale's bones. The beast was hurt but not broken, and now it was angry in a new way. Kale dropped to one knee, gripping the blade tightly. His skin was steaming, his breathing shallow. That swing had taken more out of him than anything before. The connection to the buried power beneath the canyon had given him strength, but it was wild and unrefined. Leora rushed to his side, planting a stabilizer beacon near them. A soft shield shimmered around them for a moment as she injected something into Kale's arm. His heartbeat slowed just enough to keep him from collapsing. "You're burning from the inside," she said. "That energy, your body isn't made for it." Kale wiped sweat from his brow. "Then I'll use what I can before it kills me." The beast rose fully now, its movements slower but more deliberate. Its head lowered. It wasn't just charging this time, it was stalking him. Leora stepped forward. "Let me take it." Kale grabbed her wrist. "No, I saw more when I touched the root. There's something under us, something deeper." Leora blinked. "What?" "It's not just a power core. It's alive. It's calling me." The ground beneath them trembled again, but this time it didn't come from the beast's steps. The earth cracked just beyond the battlefield, and a dull hum rose like a heartbeat. The beast paused, confused. Then it turned its head, not towards Kale but toward the crack in the land. Kale stood slowly. "It's drawn to the source too." "If it reaches it," Leora said, "it could awaken more." "Then I stop it here." He stepped forward, blade glowing brighter with each movement. The war beast watched him, cautious now. Kale began circling it. The beast mirrored him. Neither made the first move. The air between them was thick with energy, pressure building like a storm about to break. Then Kale sprinted. He charged low, forcing the beast to strike downward. He rolled under its massive claw and sliced at the leg joint. Sparks flew. The beast roared. It turned quickly, faster than expected, and slammed its arm into Kale's side. He flew into the cliff wall, the impact loud and final. For a moment, everything went silent. Then Kale moved. He pulled himself from the rubble, blood trickling from his mouth. "I'm still here," he growled. The beast hesitated again, unsure why this human wouldn't fall. Kyle raised his blade, now flickering between molten gold and burning red. "This isn't just power, it's memory. This land remembers the war before. And now, so do I." The beast charged one final time. Kale didn't dodge. He ran straight at it, leapt, and drove the blade into the glowing wound at the beast's chest. A silent flash followed. The war beast froze in place. Then slowly, it collapsed, its entire body turning gray, brittle, like stone. Kale tumbled off its back and hit the ground hard. Leora ran to him. He was barely breathing, but the sky above had stopped cracking. For now. Kale lay still, dust settling over his bruised body. His blade had vanished, melted back into the earth after the war beast turned to ash. His breathing was faint. The power that had surged through him was gone, and in its place was silence. Leora knelt beside him, scanning his vitals. The results were terrifying. His heartbeat was fading. His cells were unstable. The energy from the ancient root had fused into him and then left like a tide pulling back to sea. She pressed a glowing patch against his chest. "Stay awake, Kyle. I need you to stay awake." His eyes opened just slightly. "Did it work?" She nodded, but her voice was tight. "Yes, you stopped it. But your body, Kale, you're dying." He gave a weak grin. "Then tell me something worth hearing before I go." Leora hesitated, then leaned close. "That wasn't the last one, but you might be the last of your kind who can stop what's coming." Kale closed his eyes. "That's not what I wanted to hear." She activated her wrist device. "There's still a chance. If I can get you to the core beneath us, it might heal you. Or remake you." He opened one eye. "That sounds worse." "No," she whispered. "It's the only way." She placed a small beacon on the ground. It pulsed once, then opened a hidden hatch beneath the rocks. Beneath the battlefield, deep underground, was a tunnel glowing with old energy, not electricity, but something ancient, something living. Leora dragged Kale into the passage. The walls pulsed with symbols and lights that moved like veins. The air was warmer here, thicker. The tunnel sloped downward, deeper into the earth. They reached a massive chamber, round and silent, with a single structure in the center, like an altar covered in glowing vines. Kyle stirred. This is it, isn't it? Leora nodded. The Heart Forge, built by the ancients before the Great Silence. It was meant to shape warriors, not just with strength, but with purpose. Kyle frowned. You knew this place existed? I was never meant to activate it. Only a human, one like you, can awaken the forge. Kale looked at her. What if I don't come back the same? She placed a hand on his shoulder. Then come back better. He stepped forward, barely standing. The forge pulsed as he approached, recognizing his presence. A light rose from its center, reaching out to him like a hand. He touched it. Everything disappeared. He wasn't in the chamber anymore. He floated in a black space filled with echoes, memories from worlds long gone. Battles, heroes, death, hope. Then a voice, clear and powerful, spoke within him. Will you carry the burden of those who fell? He didn't answer with words. He simply nodded. The light exploded. Above ground, the sky shimmered. The clouds pulled back, revealing a massive shape drifting beyond the atmosphere, a true warship, ancient and silent. It had watched everything, and now it moved. The villagers who had taken shelter in the caves looked up in fear. Leora stood alone at the forge chamber entrance, looking up at the surface ceiling as the ground shook gently. Then it stopped. She turned. Kyle stood in the chambers, light. His wounds were gone. His eyes glowed with steady gold, and behind him a new blade floated into his hand, shaped from the forge's light. Kyle looked at her, calm and steady. How many more beasts are coming? Leora stepped back in awe. Not beasts this time, something worse. He nodded once. Then I'm ready. The forge room rumbled softly, but Kale stood firm. He was no longer just human. The forge had done more than heal him. It had remade him. His skin shimmered faintly, not metallic, but marked with ancient patterns that pulsed with each breath. The blade in his hand was alive, humming with a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. Leora watched silently. Her scanners couldn't explain what he had become. Are you still you? She asked. Kale gave her a look that was all his. More than ever. Far above them, the clouds parted completely now. The warship descended slowly, its body stretching for miles, shaped like a floating city of bone and fire. Beneath its shadow, smaller beasts began falling from the sky like comets. Armored drones, living weapons shaped from metal and muscle. The true invasion had begun. Leora turned to the surface readouts. They're deploying planetary anchors. If they finish, this world becomes a factory. Kale's grip tightened on his blade. Not today. They emerged from the forge chamber to find the sky on fire. Villagers had taken shelter far beyond the valley now, but the land was being transformed. Black spires rose from the ground, pulsing with the warship's commands. Kale raised his hand. The forge energy inside him responded. A pulse of light burst from his chest and spread across the battlefield, like a beacon. Every creature turned to look at him. He welcomed it. The first wave came fast, 3 beasts with blades for arms and claws that cut through stone. Kyle met them head-on, his new body moving faster than before. The blade in his hand left golden trails as it slashed, clean and precise. The first beast shattered into shards. The second was split in half before it landed. The third tried to leap, but Kale caught it midair and slammed it into the ground with a blast of energy. Leora stood back, watching in awe. He's not fighting them, he's controlling the field. But the warship responded. A beam of dark light fired from its core, aiming straight for Kale. He stood still. The blast hit him. Dust and fire covered the hill. For a moment, Leora feared the worst. Then the smoke parted. Kale still stood, arm raised. The beam split in two around a golden shield that floated in front of him. His voice rang out like thunder. "I'm done running." He hurled his blade toward the sky. It turned into a streak of light and pierced the underbelly of the warship. The ship shook. Parts of it exploded. Beasts fell from the sky like broken stars. Kale raised both arms. The earth responded. Pillars of light burst upward, striking the anchors the warship had dropped, destroying them one by one. Leora's voice trembled. "He's awakening the land." "No," a voice whispered behind her. One of the elders had returned to watch. "He is becoming the land." The warship, broken and burning, began to retreat. It had underestimated this planet, this man, and now it knew. Kyle collapsed to one knee, body smoking. Leora ran to him again. "Kale, stay with me." He looked at her with tired eyes. "It's done?" She smiled. "For now." He chuckled softly. "Then maybe I'll sleep for 10 years. "No," she said, wrapping an arm around him. "They'll come back, but next time, we won't be alone." Behind them, villagers began to return. Children peered from behind stones. Warriors who had once hidden now stood taller. Kale looked at them all. He wasn't their blacksmith anymore. He was their shield, their blade, their answer. And the forge inside him still burned, ready for whatever came next.